that. Hi, and thanks for coming to watch this video from Carolina Varsity. This is our players of the game for week number 8. And I'm going to take a look first at the game that I attended last Thursday night. This was between West Mecklenburg and South Mecklenburg. And from that ball game, first I'd like to recognize Richard Latimer. He had a QB rating of 129, threw for 3 TDs and 199 yards. Kind of led that offense. I thought played very well on the field. And on the offense, you just, it's one of those things you had to be there. I don't guess the stats are too outstanding. We've seen bigger stats, but Diami Brown, number 2, he had 153 yards rushing and 1 TD and 109 yards receiving and 1 TD. Just was unstoppable. I think the receptions were on 3 receptions. I have to go back and look at the stats again to see. And yeah, that's the team stats overall, not the game stats. So I'm sorry. And then Julian Jones, number 43 on defense. He had 5 tackles, 1 interception, and he had, I think, a couple of PBUs. So he played very, very well. And after the ball game, talking with the coach, turned out that coach named Brown and Jones, the team had named them as their offensive and defensive players of the game. Congratulations, guys. It was a great game. That was a big win. Also last week, I went to see Rocky River and East Mecklenburg play. And first I'll recognize from East Mecklenburg, Kamal Howard. He carried the ball 38 times. 218 yards. It just was the word workhorse definitely applied to Howard. They really needed to have more offense to have a better shot in that ball game than just running the ball. But Kamal, you played a great ball game. And Rocky River, Kendall Lewis. I remember seeing Kendall back several years ago making a very athletic play back of the end zone. Catching a touchdown pass, and I remember the coaches coming up to me and telling me, well, this kid's going to be special. And so how special was he? He had 3 touchdowns, and he caught the winning touchdown in overtime, the overtime winning touchdown in that ball game. Played a fantastic ball game. Congratulations, Mr. Jones. Another kid that I want to recognize, and I'm sorry I don't have, I'm going to have to bring that up here, is number 22. Hopefully I can pronounce his name correctly. Ricklin Mack from Kings Mountain. Kid was fantastic, and he's a freshman. One of the best freshman kids I've seen run the ball as a freshman. Definitely the best freshman I've seen this year. I don't think I've seen many freshmen running backs this year, so hard not to be, but the kid was dynamic. We went through a tough ball game. Not a lot was happening on offense for Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain was down 13-7 late in the ball game, and then he breaks off, I think it was about a 34-yard run. Just a great determination. Kind of reminded me of Kamal Howard and how he had tacklers on him, but he shed them. He just kind of burst through. A lot of power in that lower body. And then he scored again. So that put up Kings Mountain up 14-13. And then he scored the next touchdown, which ended up being the winning touchdown. Kings Mountain won that ball game 21-19. Great ball game. And finally, I want to recognize some players from Granville Central that were nominated. Number 14, Ethan Gross. So he's a DE tight end. He started as a quarterback for his second game. And he had a season-ending injury in week 5, despite throwing 2 interceptions, blah, blah, blah. He's nominating him for leading the Panthers to a 34-8 victory over Weldon Chargers in the season's first conference game. Ethan ran the ball 9 times, scored a rushing TD. He also threw 9 times with only only one completion. That completion was for 19 yards TD pass to Zach Cantafa. Zach is also a nomination this week. He is a kicker, a wide receiver. We've had him here before. He is also a soccer player. So Zach carried the ball. He carried the ball for 3 yards rushing. He caught a pass for TD. He had a 47-yard punt return for TD. Had 6 kickoffs. Most of them went into the end zone for touchbacks, which is always great for a high school kicker. Just had a great ball game all the way around. Punting was very good, punting the ball inside the 20. So great ball game. Congratulations. Also it was mentioned as honorable mentions, but we're going to throw them out there because these are pretty good stats as well. Number 11, Malcolm West. He's a cornerback wide receiver. He had 14 carries, 124 yards, a season high. And he had 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion. He leads the team in scoring with 48 points, I'm told. And also number 50, Chris Rum. He plays center and guard. He's made a fumble recovery, ran it for about 30 yards for a defensive TD. We love those. We love to have defensive linemen, offensive linemen. Love to see defensive linemen make plays and score touchdowns. You guys don't get to do it often. It's wonderful when you get to. Congratulations. Those are our nominations. I just took only nominated players, either from games that I saw or that was mentioned to me. Thanks. If you've got any players you'd like to nominate, you can tweet them to us at CarolinaVarsity.com or at CarolinaVarsity on Twitter. You can hashtag it CVPOG and let us know the player. Be prepared to get us some stats if you can. We want to recognize more players, linemen, defensive players, the kids that are not always getting the headlines in the papers, because they're the ones scoring the touchdowns. We want to hear about those too. They had to play good ball games. That kid couldn't score a touchdown without somebody blocking for him. Thanks for watching.